Thank you everyone for joining, and we will talk a little bit about it's sort of like an extension to what Gaurav spoke about in terms of like making your Slack into a place that is more than just for chat. The specific use case we're going to talk about is how can you bring help desk like capabilities directly inside your Slack channels. Um, so why should we even consider having structured support experience inside Slack? Traditionally, as an end user, in case you're an employee of a large organization or you're a customer, getting access to help has always been frustrating in just figuring out where to go and how to apply to get help. So if you're especially in a large organization trying to get help, just being in the middle of a very frustrating problem and not being able to figure out what is the right place and process to get help can be a very frustrating experience. People are all communicating in Slack, but it's very natural to do that communication there. But figuring out how to get help beyond just accessing your peers in DM is frustrating. And if you're the person who's providing help, like you are like a support agent or you're part of like an IT team that's helping your staff with these kinds of issues, there is, especially in like a large organization, the ability to understand all of the company processes and processes and policies, and being able to answer every employee request. Number one, it's a lot of work having to do that over and over again. And number two, a lot of the requests coming in from employees are very similar, and having to repeat the same thing over and over again is also a frustrating experience. So, if you're using Slack and directly, trying to get help when you're stuck, so these are the challenges that you face. So how do people solve this? So the most easiest thing that people do is like they create like a help desk channel. For every purpose, there is like a help desk IT, there is a help desk HR, maybe there is like a help desk for facilities. So every function or department will have their own Slack channel, and employees go there and start reporting issues, right? So it's a one-time um, discovery that what are those channels where you can post to get help. And once you post help there, someone is going to take a look at that. The second approach is that, what Garo showed you a few minutes back. You can post a message in a more structured way if you have a workflow attached to the channel, and people actually click on that workflow trigger and fill up a form and then post the request into that channel. And of course, the third approach is if when the company starts to grow, they start to get themselves like a ticketing portal and direct the employees to go to a ticketing portal like Jira or Salesforce cases, and figure out how to make your request over there. So all of these are like traditionally how people have solved bringing in help desk like capabilities inside of Slack, or otherwise. In this case, there are shortcomings in each of these approach, primarily around how well you're able to track them, right? So if you're posting messages directly in Slack, the frustration of having to figure out like what is the current status of your request, has it been processed, what's the status of it, and for the agents to scroll through a very long list of requests that's coming in the channel can also be a frustrating experience. So we do want something that is more structured, but without having to leave the convenience of making those requests in Slack. So there is a new option now. People can have their requests processed by a AI support agent directly inside Slack. So it brings two things here. One is like people don't have to leave the convenience of Slack, make their requests directly in the Slack channels, or directly interact with the bot via an app and make their requests. So the AI support agent is not just going to help get the answers from the team. It's going to try to answer the questions then, by its own. So it has already information about all of the company policies and processes, and it also has access to all the applications in the organization, so it can take action on your behalf. So it can do a variety of different things, and it can be trained very easily to do these things. AI support agents are sort of taking over how support operations are performed, both internally within an organization and also externally when you're interfacing with your customers. So this is like the new approach, and this is something that can embed directly inside Slack. So how does this work? An AI support agent has four key components to it. Of course, it's got the LLM brain to it. So it has the so it can provide you with like a similar conversational experience like you get when you interact with ChatGPT. And it has got the knowledge index of the company, which means that it is trained ahead of time on all of your company knowledge, maybe it documents in your Google Drive, Notion, Confluence, or be it a bunch of files and websites that have been used to teach the AI agent ahead of time. It's also connected to all your company applications, so it can connect to your Microsoft applications. It can connect to your Okta, your any of your applications that you use at work, and it can take actions on your behalf on those applications, making life easier, especially to automate routine tasks. And of course, AI agents are not going to be able to handle 100% of employee requests. So when there is a need to escalate, it'll make sure that it's escalating that to a human team in a seamless fashion. Again, all of this is going to be available directly inside of Slack. So one of the AI agents that you might want to consider if you have such a use case is Enjo. Enjo is a platform where you can actually create AI agents specifically for IT support use cases, HR support use cases, and if there is a need for you, you can also train it on customer support use cases. And one of the key skills that it's got out of the box integration with all of your knowledge sources. So you can connect a bunch of files. You can connect your existing SharePoint folders. You can also connect your Slack to train on all of past conversations that have happened in Slack. You can connect to Jira or your existing ticketing system in Salesforce and have the AI agent learn from all the past conversations that have happened there, maybe for the past 1 year or 5 years. It can learn from all of that information, and it can do all of that in almost instantly. So you set it up in a matter of minutes, and it has all of your company information and context to answer employee requests coming up. So when it does that, it's able to answer employee questions. Let's see some examples of how this works. So I have a Slack channel here where employees can come in and make requests. So for example, I'm asking about what is the Wi-Fi policy for guests in the company. So now it's going to go in, find all the relevant knowledge sources, and then it constructs an answer. And it also gives you citations, which says, okay, where it found this answer from. So you can rate the answer. If it's useful, you can continue to have the conversation with the bot if you're not satisfied with the answer. And you can ask a variety of questions. Right now, this example is where someone is asking about a Wi-Fi password. You could be asking about company policy. So let's say that you're asking about how often you can get a new laptop. So it will look up again all of the company knowledge, find the most relevant information, and construct the answer for you. So this answer can come from a variety of different sources. Right now, it's coming from a company policy document, but it could come from a website. It could come from any different knowledge sources as well. So this is a quick example of how it will search knowledge sources and give answers directly inside Slack. Hopefully this is useful to the employee, and these requests are automatically answered. A lot of times in our practical experience, we find that on day one, as soon as you connect your company information, the AI agents are able to answer 20% to 30% of employee requests off the bat. So this is tremendously useful if you have a limited staff in responding to employee requests. AI agent taking 20%, 30% off your workload on day one of deployment, it can be a big deal. So but 20% is generally not sufficient. Even if you can achieve 20%, there is still substantial amount of workload that humans are handling. So how can you go beyond information retrieval? So a lot of times when you ask questions like, hey, I need help with resetting password. I forgot my password, right? So the AI agent can answer by saying, yes, here are the steps that you can follow to reset your password. Go ahead and do that yourself. So that's like the traditional approach when you're taught the AI agent about all of your company processes. However, you can go one step ahead and also have the AI agent take action on your behalf, connect to Okta, connect to Microsoft, and reset the password on behalf of the user instantly. So that way, there is no human in the loop, and the entire request is being completely fulfilled 100% without any human intervention. So how can you do things like this? Like, for example, if you go into Slack and let's say that somebody is saying a new joinee is asking for how they can actually get access to Microsoft Office, right? So when they make such a request, one option is, of course, it can just give you information about the policy for how to get access. But in this case, the organization has trained the AI agent to automatically grant access to Microsoft Office if you have the eligibility. So, in this case, I'm confirming the action. It's asking for some additional information. And once I give this information, it goes behind the scenes, executes a bunch of actions in all the connected applications, and comes back to you with a confirmation saying all of this is done. So you're not just getting a bunch of instruction on how to get access to Microsoft Office, but if you have the eligibility, it's actually executing and provisioning access for you on your behalf. So this is taking automation to the next level, where you can have AI agents mimic human actions and take a variety of different actions, including this example where it's provisioning access to software. All right, so we have seen two examples. One is where it's actually retrieving knowledge from knowledge sources and finding the most relevant information, providing the answer to the employee. The second example is when it's actually taking action on behalf of the user and resolving the user's request. But of course, let's in a lot of practical use cases, this will add 20 to 30% more to your automation, and you're able to achieve somewhere between 50 to 60% automation if you're able to automate some actions and train the AI agents to take actions on the user's behalf. But there is still a lot more that the humans handle, a nuanced set of requests. So in those cases, how does it escalate and hand over the request to a human? So in those cases, the escalation happens either through human request or automatically when it figures out that there is a need to escalate to a human. So let's take a example here where the user is provided the bot is provided an answer. Let's say that you asked for a password and it gave you instructions. So this is somewhat useful, but it's still not resolved your request. So you can go ahead and say, hey, this is not helpful. I still need help, right? So I'm expecting someone from the team is going to be with me and take up this request and help resolve my request. So what happens here is when I give such a feedback, it will go ahead and hand over the request to the humans in the team. Let's take another example. Maybe it's not. Let's say that I'm just asking for help explicitly. All right. So in this case, it's passed on the request directly to the team. And the way this works is like, if you are like the team, let's say that you're a team of 3 people, helping all the employees when they have issues, you will have an interface directly inside of the Enjo platform to look at all the escalated requests and answer those requests from here. So here you can see that somebody's made a request to directly talk to me. So I'm acting both as the person who's making the request and answering it. So, but anyway, let's see here. So I can see here that I'm able to have like a direct conversation with the user. So, and I can make a request. I mean, I can make an update here, and that'll be coming back over here. So Now we've seen three examples now. One is where the AI was trained on company policy and it answered the user's requests. The second one where the AI is actually trained to take action and it actually went ahead and took action on behalf of the user to provision software access. And third is when the user needed escalation, it automatically handed over to the team, and the team is able to directly respond from within the Helpdesk platform. So, what you have to notice here is in none of these cases, I had to step out of the Slack interface. All of this is happening directly inside of Slack. There is no a need for the end user, in this case the employees, to step out of the Slack channel, and they will get all kinds of support directly over here. So again, I just want to quickly show how all of this magic works behind the scenes. So the first thing you saw is the example where you have the AI agent answering based on company policies. Now here in this example, I've just trained it on a company policy document. I just added a PDF to the training, and and this AI agent is now trained to understand all of the pages within this document. There are hundreds of pages, and it can train from all of those company policy information. And this usually happens in a matter of few seconds. So you can have this set up very quickly. The second example we saw is the ability to reset password or provision access to a software application. All of this is possible by configuring actions within the AI agent. So the AI agent can be configured to take actions by executing a piece of code or invoking an external REST API. And it also has like the ability to take actions in a variety of different applications out of the box. So you can write code, if that's something that you're comfortable with, or you can point to an API and ask it to take action there, or you can just use one of the existing supported actions that we already have. For example, in Jira, you can say, go ahead and get the status of the issue that user is asking about, right? So, or in ServiceNow, go ahead and create a request. In Salesforce, go ahead and mark a case as resolved. So, or go ahead and reset the password in Okta. So all of these actions can be taken as part of the action taking ability that is built within the AI agent. So if none of this works, of course, you want the AI agent to easily hand over to humans, and that can be handled in the escalation. Escalation can happen in a variety of different ways. First of all, you can say, escalation needs to happen as soon as the user is asking for it. Like, the user can say, hey, I need help. Can someone from your team take a look at this? Or I need to talk to human. Any of those kinds of requests will automatically escalate. But it can also have a variety of different ways that you want the escalation to trigger. And when escalation is triggered, you can either have the escalation handled by the team directly inside the Enjo platform, or you can have the escalation handled in any help desk application that you're using today. So for example, if you're using Jira, we can have the escalation create tickets in Jira. If you're using Salesforce cases, then you can have the escalation actually create tickets as a Salesforce case in your existing Salesforce instance. It supports a variety of different ticketing systems, and there is no limit to how the escalation can be handled. So we'll take a look one last example where if you want to have the escalation handled in Jira, then you can just say, okay, so I have a request, and this request, the answer that was given by the AI agent is not very useful, or at least it's not sufficient for me. So I mark it as not helpful and trigger the creation of a Jira ticket. So in this case, you can see here that the Jira ticket has all the context now. So as agent, if I come into this Jira ticket, I will understand the full context of what happened in Slack, and I can go ahead and make some update here. So when I post an update as an agent, it comes back into Slack. So the employee is never having to leave Slack, but at the same time, the tickets are created, The employees are happy because they're getting a resolution. The agents are happy because the tickets are getting created, and there is good tracking and visibility into the work that they're doing. So that is pretty much how AI agents work. Hope this is like a good introduction for people who are thinking about using AI agents for your own workflows. Um, let's take a look at why this should be important for you. So if you are a developer, or anybody who's got nothing to do with managing support for your company, then whenever you face an issue, you want to make sure that that issue is getting resolved almost instantly, so you can get back to your work, right? So with AI support agents, this is something that's possible 24/7. You don't have to wait for a human to be available. You don't wait for your ticket to get picked up in from the queue. You get instant support, so that helps save a ton of time, especially when you're frustrated with something not working for you. So that can be very useful. If you're an admin of the support team or an operations person in the support team, two things. One, of course, your team is going to be happy if you allow them to get instant support using AI agents, and you also keep the human touch, that at any point in time, people can actually access your team and get help from the team if it becomes necessary. And also, like the AI is helping you to get more context really fast. So you don't have to search through hundreds of different documents to find out some policy information that you're looking for. You can just search in the AI agent, and the AI agent will give you the necessary information. As executive, if you are responsible for the team's productivity and performance, you want to know how you're helping the team be more productive. So Enjo platform has all kinds of insights that tell you about like how much time was saved, how much money was saved, how it's helping both the employees of your organization and the members of your support team be more productive with the deployment of AI support agents. So this is not something that is new. Now, everybody knows that generative AI has been around for a while now, and people are, experimenting with different levels of deployment. Enjo AI agent platform is one of the premium, most mature AI agent platform out there. It's proven to work in some of the largest enterprises. You're seeing some examples on the screen right now where companies are using Enjo AI agents to automate their internal IT support, and it connects to all of your existing systems. It works directly inside Slack, so you get all of that convenience. You can also see examples of very large organizations with very complex workflows using Enjo AI agents for customer support. So it's not just employee support. This same platform can be used to build AI support agents that deal with customers as well. So it can be deployed on your website, and you can ask questions to the AI agent and get answers from them directly. Customers can get answers directly from the AI support agents. The workflow will be exactly the same. It will try to answer from the company, products and services and all the policy information that it has, and it will also try to take action on the user's behalf to check for order status and things like that. And if it's not able to do this, it will seamlessly hand over to human agents. So one same solution for all kinds of support use cases. So it's not just these companies, and a ton of companies around the world are adopting AI agents. It's no longer a nice to have. Every company in the world is going to deploy AI support agents. Which vendor you pick is going to be something for your organization to decide. But every single company in the world and every single help desk they are managing is being taken over by AI. And for all of you in this call and around the world, being in the know about how to use AI agents and how to optimally deploy them in your organization for your workflows is a very important key skill. I hope all of you got like a brief introduction into this, and yeah, happy to answer any questions